I certainly hope everyone enjoyed the break, the Easter break. And as we move forward into this new future for all of us, I think we all need to understand that serious changes have just happened. And I don't think that it's going to go back, but irregardless of when it goes back or what happens next, we have to understand that we're in a position now to understand where we as a people need to have great conversations. I can see so many people that have money and influence are now having conversations with each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good thing. And then a lot of people are moving in a direction where, you know, they're communicating more. But the deal is that when we look at public services and how the monies are going to be distributed and who the groups of people that they affect, and understand the small businesses were created through public policy, and a lot of contracts and are not or not equally issued in and competitive with Black people. We're still struggling here. I think it's more or less as if we're still on the plantation, and the plantation really does exist, because truly it does. Anytime you don't have the ability to critique or share a concern about how public policies that were written to support all of us affect just Black people. Somehow the acceptance of being shot for failing to comply only reminds me of the runaway slave days. And I was never a slave, but I couldn't imagine. I just can't even comprehend having to live under that. But it's still the same way. You just stay out of the way. You're able to manage to stay or avoid conflict with law enforcement. Then hell, stay away from them. Don't do things that, put you at risk. You have to be smarter. But my issue is that so many of us don't even understand that we should be doing things that we're not. Like, I've been involved in public policy conversations for more than 20 years, and I feel confident about that. I know what I know. I feel confident about that. And I know this, that in my volunteering throughout my life, that there's only been one or two other Blacks in the room volunteering like me, myself. And so, although people have jobs and are employed through public policy, it's the community that demands the outcomes for the services and the benefit. And now is a telling time, as you can see across America, in large cities where African Americans are in close environments, and a lot of them are without health care, or a lot of them are in bad health. And the effect on their community is devastating. People are dropping like flies. I don't want to be out there amongst those people and jeopardize my health. No, I'm sure a lot of people can't even understand that. But if we're talking about public education, we need to understand some things, some basic things. And where do you begin? Let's share the screen. Share the screen and let's see where I left off. I have to open up something first before I share the screen. I'm gonna shrink my window. No, I cannot minimize Zoom when I'm recording. Oh, okay. But I can do this. And where was I gonna go? I should go here to my Google Drive, and I should go to my drive and go into, or really even, I was looking at something. Nah, we won't go there. We'll go here. And we will go into the district's accountability report. That looks like something. Once it opens, I'll be able to share this document with you, of course. Pop it out. Now, we can do one better. Okay, now we can, okay, now we can share the screen because I have the document open. There we go. It's all about learning, boy. Okay, let's start. This was an accountability report for Clark County School District done in 2015, 2016. And I'm going to just move it right here. I guess that's good. And these are the highlights. But let's just type up here first. African American. Let's see if it finds any no hits. Let's type in the word black. Okay, now we get some data about blacks. So here's the average daily attendance at this charter school. And then see Rainbow Dreams Academy? They're not reporting. Oh, they don't have any whites over there. Isn't that amazing? But no whites in hardly any of that. There's no significant people. But this Odyssey, this charter school, certainly is 97.1% white. And well, where's the blacks? Okay, claims it has the same amount of blacks. We go to the next page that says blacks and graduation rate. Look at the Sunrise Mountain High School. 52% of the kids graduate there. I wonder who they are. But then just keep on scrolling down to see the percentages of graduation. High school completion indicators for Clark County. Children with advanced degrees is only 26%. But then over here, adult diplomas. Let's see. I don't think we're in the black anymore. Let's go here. Black graduation rate of 2015. Well, it looks like it's 55%. But the total graduation rate was under 100%. I don't know. It's like, it's 100% of one is still 100%. So if you said I had 100% attendance and it was only one person, but he was 100% of who you counted. So, this data stuff really doesn't work for me. What works is, it shows in the community. It shows in where you live, and it shows in also who's able to get work and provide services, just as an American. But when you tailor it, it's, and even the parent involvement is done differently here. Let's see, black. To the daily attendance, let's look at some more data. I want to see some real data here. Let's keep on going down. This is just about the money, really. And this is their whole accountability report. It's all about the ADA. Okay. Is that still? Yeah, that's still student information, ADA. Well, I don't see any data about how well students are achieving. And this is their accountability report. But they don't measure anything. I mean, what are they really measuring? Attendance? That's it. That's all I see. I didn't see anything else in this report except for attendance. Okay, student information. Well, it's telling you the demographics and of where the location of people are. You can see that, but you really can't see what else is going on in this this report. Let's go look at the Nevada report card, shall we? Oh, I've been here before. And what I saw was wild. That's what I'll say. We all have to understand, the level of why do we have to do this? Why is it so important to be a part of the society and the rulemaking process that affects people who look like you, when you have the ability to engage the process. What is the importance of I mean, it's all good and cool, you get to live like this doesn't affect you. And simply, I'll tell you why. Because we came into the game late. And in the 60s, when the civil rights movement was happening and the right to vote and the integration and all that happened, because there was a lot of engagement from the Black community and there was a lot of advocacy done. But then it seems like, and it did happen. When I got out of high school, it wasn't critical that I, jump all down into public policy because that was my mama didn't do it, and we didn't come from that. But there are a lot of people that did come from that, and they maintained their status in America because of engaging with the process. But you just can't live in a community and pay taxes and pretend that you have no responsibility as to how those services are happening for people like you. It's so real, but it's so real that we don't do this. And that now, because of this COVID, you know, virus, and it's killing people, and a lot of people are dying. But now the conversation is here, and we all need to understand that we have a personal responsibility as to ensure accessibility happens. So let's look at, I want to see district. Oh, well, Clark County. Oh, look, Clark County Detention Center. Oh, yeah. Let's see who's in here. Okay. Shows credit deficiency. Look at that. All those kids in the detention center. And look at how many people, how many 12th graders are deficient in credits. And what does that mean? That means that they didn't get promoted somehow. Look at over here. It all doesn't just lump up at the end. That's some insane stuff. Let's look at civil rights data. All right, let's get preschools, shall we? Let's look at preschool. I think that's what I'm looking at. No. Preschool enrollment. You click that. Oh, comes down here. Oh boy. That's insane. It opens up a different file. And it opens up in a spreadsheet, Excel. And if you don't have this on your computer, it's kind of hard to see. But guess what? Look. There's no data. None. It's just a form that's online that is totally empty. And that's what you would expect to see when people are not holding themselves accountable, and especially to that graduation rate. Y'all seen it. I mean, you've seen the credit deficiency stuff, right? Let's not pretend that that don't exist. Look, my browser is not secure. Look, my connection is not secure. There are 12 cookies in use here. Let's take a quick look, shall we? Okay. I don't know what that means. We'll have to come back and look another time. Tired. I just want people to really understand that we're not talking about what we need to be talking about. And we are. In a way we are, in a way we're not. Because, when I was involved in the public school process, I really did look at the data. We really did talk about all children, and I really saw myself as just an American, just a person, just a citizen participating. And even though I was one or two of the only Blacks that I saw at that level, everybody knew who I was because I simply was engaged in the process for a long time. And so when I go here and I want to go just to regular YouTube, can I get there? and then go to my channel. My channel. Here we go. And say, want to see, what is this? No, I don't want to play that one. I want to say, I don't even want to look at the streams. I want to look at all the videos. So you can see that I've been involved for a long time. And in the room, when I was sharing concerns, there was no whole lot of people who looked like us. They simply talk about access and equity. 50 years after Brown versus the Board of Education, and how far African American students have been allowed to achieve in Sacramento, California, being the capital. African American children are basically not achieving. Parents who understand the law can hold teachers accountable, hold local school districts accountable, but most of those parents are in poverty and do not know the rules. Their children are trapped in SDC classes and not making progress. The district utilizes their resources as a local issue. They put 10 teachers that are in GATE classes and GATE schools, and people competitively bid for those programs, and those children who get in those programs are successful. The majority of our children are not. The majority of our children are going to jail. 12 years in the public education system, jail is a real concept for most of these children. And states' rights is a real responsibility. I filed a complaint with the state of California, with the county Office of Education. I said, just tell me what has happened in the last 50 so years to ensure that Brown versus the Board of Education actually happened. The state sent a complaint back to the local district, and the district said, well, we get Title I, and we get the LCAP money. So that's how we help those children. Guess what? None of those dollars were connected to those children of color. Those dollars are connected to outcomes, and supposedly unduplicated outcomes. But the district now is district-wide Title I and school-wide Title I. They don't do direct services. You don't ask them to measure what's happening for those children in the classroom that need those direct services. I am so frustrated in going back to the district and pretending that they want to work with me because I have a concern. I may be one of the few African-American parents that are advocates for children in poverty. There are a lot of us out there working independently in individual courts, but I believe that it's important that the state has the responsibility for states' rights. The state is responsible to ensure basic education for all kids.
Okay, we've now had the public comment, and
see, I was involved in the public comment, but look and see when I did that, July 2015, and this is 2020, and it's March. So, you know, it's been 5 years, and guess what? It's only worse. Let's go back and let's examine some more videos, shall we? Because nobody really comes to my channel, and, you know, you do these videos, and you hope that people would come and, you know, try to learn. But a lot of people aren't trying to learn about nothing. And actually, you know, it's painful to understand that children are in the public school system that aren't making any progress at all. Let's check this one out. This was 4 years ago.
Arlene Anderson. Please be reminded of the 2-minute limit and just keep an eye on the timer right up there.
Where's the timer?
It's the lights, colored lights right there.
Good afternoon, almost. I thought it was important to come today to talk about just where African American children are in the state of California. They're not. Even though there are a few parents who have the ability to successfully engineer through the process, there are many, many young people who do not know. I went recently to an IEP where a parent had been, child who had 6 years old had been placed on a minimum day through a hearing in the hearing office, but it's because the student didn't have the skill level to transition from task to task. I think I'm looking for accountability in the state of California. Just when does that happen? We've had several opportunities to engage the Black community in regards to student achievement, and we have had many opportunities to keep the same jobs and the same people providing those services for the past 35 years or more. And now people are moving their children into these positions to oversee what I call the plantation, because the failure is rampant. And I think you all are aware of the failure rate in Sacramento, because we also have the highest infant death mortality rate in the state of California, right here in Sacramento. I think there needs to be some level of accountability, and I think that that's what was looked for when the offer was to continue to receive the funding in the state of California for the low-income children. But here we are with the same people. I participated at school site level. I was a DAC chair. I'm at my school site council, and we have the same people working in the same positions for the last how many years? Nothing really has changed. The only thing that's changed is the district now puts LCAP at the bottom of the agenda item, and at the school site council, well, we don't have a way to really target how we're helping those children. But the same children are the ones who are failing. And as far as graduation rates, thank you, but no thank you, because we have alternative programs in Sac City Unified School District where kids are moved from regular ed to alternative. Credit recovery is an option, and these kids are still going to jail. So I've learned to talk in 2 minutes. So thank you very much.
Hey, that was a hot one. That one was done a long time ago too. So, I mean, advocacy is real, but we all need to understand that we all have a role. And it just has to do with showing up. And you have to ask yourself, what have you done in your lifetime that makes a difference? Because you are going to pay the money. You're just going to pay the money. And that's just real. Everybody has to pay. And you see our entertainers like Wesley Snipes. Remember how big that was when he went to jail? And wasn't it something about jail stuff? I mean, you know what? You can just, people have gone to jail. I have not been to jail, and I don't want to go there. This is jail enough, just not having the ability to go and do anything. But anyways, let's look at some more videos, shall we? Because this is history. And it really is where we are in America. So here, let's look at this one. We'll do this one because the other one's kind of long. This one's 5 minutes. It's cool.
For the juvenile division of the probation department, how many young people are you working with or tracking?
We have 6,000 juveniles on probation, but we only supervise about 550. We focus on high-risk youth.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Senator. I want to thank you for the opportunity to testify before you today. If I may, the topic of juvenile delinquency is very relevant to my opinion. There's been a platform with many administrators and politicians in the past that really have not taken seriously these issues of delinquency in the juvenile system and crimes related to them. Many programs have come and gone. What I'm right after this kind of work is looking towards those efforts. And the resources necessary to allow our youth these opportunities that many of us are for. Having said that, the Twin Rivers District Police Department has identified cyberbullying and gang recruitment and affiliation as one of the top issues that will plague our students in schools. Not to mention the adverse reactions to both these issues in our communities. To address these issues, we have employed a full-time detective in Sacramento Crimes Task Force, specifically for the purpose of educating students, staff, and community on the issues of cyberbullying. And the value of this collaboration is proving to be successful regarding further protection and intervention. To address the gang issues, we currently have a part-time gang unit. We work collaboratively with the Sacramento Police Department, Sheriff's Department, and Probation Department routinely. The purpose of our gang unit is the tie, the three-dimensional approach, tie, prevention, intervention, and enforcement. However, the PI process is very difficult to measure as our resources continue to be redirected to competing interests. However, our dedicated youth services officer that instructs the GREAT program for the gang resistance education and training curriculum throughout the district within a place that is geared for learning, as the classes. That has been very successful for us. being our elementary school level, we're going to have to attack these issues head on, give the opportunity for these students to learn the differences and the opportunities and the options they have instead of joining gangs or communities. The program allows early deployment of our elementary student population for the educational surrounding and the game culture. The program also allows law enforcement to make early impressions on our students in an effort to give them the tools necessary to make life-changing decisions, such as choosing not to be a gang. In this state, we're very fortunate to have California Penal Code 2622 with a criminal street gang activity within our state law. However, that law must be enforced and prosecuted with great care. The student base that is often most affected by youth violence has so many competing factors: domestic violence, dependencies, addictions, mental health issues, and lack of parental involvement or adult supervision, only a few factors. Combine these issues with a consistent push by gang members to recruit our students to become gang members in Oklahoma. Many students seek refuge within gangs for the sole purpose of survival. With all of the combined issues above, the misuse of this law is placed particularly on suspected gang members versus true gang members is an injustice to the individual. Moreover, the misuse of this code has potential to ruin a person's life in doing so. To ensure prevention component, the Twin Rivers District Police recognize the value of the California Street Terrorism Enforcement and Prevention Act, or the STEP Act. The process allows our officers to identify suspected gang members by way of particular state set criteria. We engage with the youth and explain that how they can to this conclusion that they must be involved with or identify the possible gang member. The purpose is giving them resources to escape that route. Furthermore, we send a copy of that letter or offer the person with the gang member's parents or place of residence. The purpose of giving them this resource to escape this consistent behavior is that of making sure that it serves two purposes. We have the opportunity to meet the adults within the residence and identify possible factors as outlined above, which may need to be addressed. We offer resources to the families as well.
When he's just explaining an act, the STEP Act, I never really even paid attention to that act even existing, but let's look for it. Oh, this must be it. Has to do with criminal reform. Look what it talks about. Renew the risk of needless assessments, whatever, about recidivism, incentives for success, correctional reform, sentencing reform. Look at this. What can we say? You know, really, there's no need for people to continue to live their life like they have no personal responsibility in the process in which, we all live under. People want to complain, oh, Democrats and Republicans, like that's a label. It is not a label. The issue is that it takes much more to become an American citizen. It takes much more to do self-advocacy. It takes much more to be self-disciplined, to show up, and to understand that in showing up, your voices are heard, and that's how a democracy continues. But it just can't continue for Black people if we're going to pretend that we have no personal responsibility in learning about policy governance, because I think that's what we live under. People apply policies for the laws that are written, and you have to have a way to access those resources, or when you get the money, you have to say how you're going to target those services for all children, or what you're going to do. And then if you don't make it, our system has always been to hold harmless. And that clause really does work. But it doesn't work for people who show up, because people who show up just don't accept anything. And so, for new parents, there really needs to be an avenue, a way to, to understand what the expectation is for public school system. Because the expectation for the public school system is merely to transition from step to step and to learn. I want to go here, ed.gov, and go there first because, people need to know how to navigate. And I want to go to IDEA. Oh, there it goes. New website for special education. And because there's so many people that are Black, they're in special ed. And it's just real. But understand that anything you may want to know about your child and your rights, it's online. You just have to ask Google. Ask Google anything. And, and Grammarly can help with your writing and your ability to communicate, but it's each person has a personal responsibility to stand up and be heard. And that's kind of like where I come from. And, we all have different perceptions as to even how life goes, because simply, I can't say my life was well-rounded. I mean, I can say that I've been married before and divorced. I can say that after that, I really didn't live with anybody successfully, at least not a man anyway. And what can I say? That life is good. I'm living with my mother right now. But still life is good because I understand that, we have a need to share with each other. And this being the most magnificent time in history because we are actually creating a culture about who we are. You can get in the stream and get in the conversation about your concerns as an individual. Or you can go to meetings and community meetings and talks and conversations. But the conversations that we should be having as a people that these great leaders are not talking about is where we are as a people in the public education system and the ability to participate in the oversight of the governance structure for programs and services that affect us as a people. That's how critical it is. Because, we have people in positions and power and people in education who get paid a whole lot of money. I'm talking about $250,000. I'm talking about $500,000 a year. People in education get paid a whole lot of money. But guess what? They get to create their own. They get to create their own salaries. Over time, the only oversight of public education was the public. And when the public stopped showing up, public education took over and took off on its own. And as long as you are supporting the most wealthiest people in a local community, then guess what? You don't have no problems because they're not concerned as to how the other people get access. Booyah, it ain't you. It's only you when you decide that it's important. And there's no one that can share the importance of showing up and advocacy to ensure that all children have access. There's just no one except for you, parent. And I get so discouraged because, when you go to public places, I used to go to the laundromat and to the Goodwill and places where you see more low-income people. And you understand that, most people are in survival just like you. And even if they have a lot of money, they're not caught up in the struggle. They've been given a gift. And, there are so many people with special gifts, like entertainers that entertain, but they only entertain. That's all they do. They're not there for you. But no one is there for you except for you in the Black community. It's just you. Like it's just us. And how our young people who are outspoken and advocates can be injured or killed because they make a difference. Let's just talk about that. They're making a difference in their community and they're making a difference with their people. And they're helping to organize what they don't want to see happen. And that's Black people having the ability to critique the services that are remanded on top of them, meaning that there are laws and policies and rules that you have to put your children in the system even when there are problems and you don't have the time to get off work to go deal with that. And then it becomes so difficult to keep your kid in school that a lot of people chose homeschool when they didn't understand the process. Homeschool is you're taking your child and you're putting them in a program that has teachers and services, and the money actually comes from that school district where your child was to another provider. But a lot of Black people just didn't send their kids to school. And then the district gave them some alternative programs, credit recovery. Guess what? Credit recovery is not an education program. It's just a way through the process. Oh, goodness. Let me see if I can find something to really share. Let's search this site for videos. Let's search. Okay, this might be a good area to look at. Look at all the information that's here. I just don't see, look, virtual schools. There are just resources and tons of resources out there for families, but you need to know that these resources exist. Learn online. Now you see, these are all resources for parents and people who live in America. I'm going to end this video for right now and upload it to Facebook and YouTube and stop the recording.